AskR did by Fracassi fanboy. What's a common element from 90s or zeros sitcoms that has aged poorly? People living far beyond their means. Sex and the City comes into my mind. Sex being portrayed as a currency the wife doles out when she needs something from the husband or to reward him for obeying her. Ow, let's have sex. No peg. Clip shows. I am doing a binge on Family Ties currently and they have about one clip show per year. Same premise every time. A visitor arrives and the family reminisces about previous episode. I hated these back then, and I completely skipped them in the rewatch now. I loved it when Community did a clip episode but made all the clips things that happened outside the show so it was 100% still new material. I don't know if this fits into this category but they're nice bedrooms. The kids' rooms are always huge and so greatly decorated. I used to draw floor plans for my dream room at age 6. Lol. Not 80s and 90s but Drake and Josh's bedroom always fascinated me. It's like a whole ass studio apartment. Broke characters or middle class ones having really nice homes, apartments being clearly comfortable. Deleted. The ugly years for the gorgeous main character are usually just the actor in a fat suit and fake braces. Bonus points for glasses. And they have curly, frizzy hair that gets straight and bam, beautiful. Love that as a girl with curly hair. The incompetent dad. The dad is always portrayed as an idiot that can't do anything without the wife telling him how. This still happens in the majority of sitcoms. Tonight's special episode, which also functioned as a SAR for drinking, drugs, rage, SAR, mental health issues. At the end, everyone goes home happy. Carlton on speed, lol. The uptight, joyless mother. And the way to loose, fun dad. The playboy character who makes elaborate schemes to get with women. I think I saw a blog one time that described how several of Barney Stinson's schemes to get laid qualified as sex crimes. Every married couple hating each other, treating each other like crap. Yikes. Boy Meets World is one I can think of that wasn't like that. Yo, what's up my dog, every black friend on every sitcom for years. Hey, I'm the token black guy. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know there was already one. No problem man, no problem. I don't know if it's just me, but I've never seen a single nun in my life. But somehow they're everywhere in old sitcoms. I think that a big part of this is that a lot of nuns transitioned away from wearing the full long black and white habit during the 80s and 90s, so they stick out in public a lot less now. If you're persistent enough, the girl will fall for you. You just need to keep showing up at her house and job unannounced. Honestly, as a teen I did not know better and tried this. It did not go well. The internet is a magical place of information and electronic mail, but don't talk to strangers or give out personal information. Now we have websites dedicated to talking to strangers. Well, cause my kid grew up in the zeros, how adults were absolute morons on any and every Disney kids show. Like, every adult just loses their mind and are aging idiots. Just stomach turning. OMG, I hate this. Wizards of Waverly Place was really bad for this. And really all the shows around that time. The kids were always so manipulative and smart-mouthed. Snotty little shits lol. The traditional sad music at the end of the episode where the lesson or moral of the episode is taught to the audience, or the abrupt loud audience track when the outro begins. I remember my friend always changing the channel during Full House when the lesson moral at the end came on because he didn't want to see the sappy part and he knew the jokes were over. The 80s zeros were more openly cruel when it came to certain things in general lol. So that bled into shows and movies. One thing I noticed because my little brother watches lots of older shows I used to watch, Drake and Josh type stuff, is that the show oftentimes intended for the audience to find bullying funny. Like some poor fat kid asks the main character on a date and she is mortified or something like that. Not like acts of bullying on the show are depicted as funny, but just like you as the viewer are basically making fun of someone for being fat, gay, weird, ugly, etc. My dad had a rule that we weren't allowed to watch put down shows. Basically if all the characters ever did was insult each other we couldn't watch it. We wanted to watch Family Matters when it first came out and he sat down and watched it with us. If it got to 10 insults, we couldn't watch it. Family Matters hit 9. Deleted. The general handling of nerds is weird. They are either bad monkeys to make fun of, 10's Disney shows kept doing it, or underdogs that we supposed to pity as they are quirky and relatable. The closest thing I can think of a balanced nerd is Connor from Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything, but he is surrounded by the typical mommy boy nerd and the disgusting nerd. Plus all of them have moments when they share one dead brain cell. Bill Cosby. Hot wives married to average or below average men that lack common intelligence. It almost balances out the Hallmark movies that would showcase a rich city guy losing his girl to a small town hunk that shows her the real meaning of Christmas. And that's where you put King of Queens. He's standing right behind me, isn't he? Boyfriend climbing the ladder to get in his girlfriend's room. They would just be texting now instead. Also, unless you're deaf it's totally unrealistic that you wouldn't hear a kid carrying a ladder, putting it up against your house, climbing up it and opening and climbing in a window. The token gay neighbor, whose only role is to be as flaming as possible and remind everyone at every opportunity that they were, in fact, gay. That one friend in the group being a womanizer. And the other being an incompetent loser who eventually gets the help of the womanizer to get the girl. The wife, mom, girlfriend, female friend, sister, or any other female role being the nice, reasonable one who tries to talk the guys out of doing something stupid or mean. It's not that this doesn't happen, but it's not likely for the woman character to be weirdly nice and logical when she hangs out around a bunch of mean stupid guys. This was originally supposed to be Dee's role in It's Always Sunny, but the actress wasn't having it and demanded the writers make her character as awful as everyone else. Sexual assault against men being used as a comedy trope. Watched an episode of Seinfeld yesterday where Jerry thinks he was touched while under at the dentist office. Wadley, SP, and his hygienist were obviously getting it on. Jerry comes to. Sees them through blurry vision of buttoning up their shirts, but Jerry is convinced that when he went into the office his polo shirt was tucked in and when he woke it was not tucked anymore. Elaine blows it off like, well, that happens to everyone. I thought that was kinda you. Walking in at the wrong time. Like when the people in the scene are doing something compromising or odd and someone just happens to open the door at the perfect time. Such an obvious setup. Every episode of Gossip Girl, how am I supposed to tell Serena that her boyfriend cheated on her? Camera pans to the doorway where Serena has been standing. Commercial break. The stupid and incompetent father husband. The idea that only the mother is competent enough to raise the kids or maintain a home. Dad is cooking breakfast dinner, better call the fire department. Canned laughter. Dad is babysitting the kids whilst the mum is out for the night. Oh dear, he just can't control his own kids. Canned laughter. Any household job that doesn't include yard work? He just can't do it because dad is useless. The unrealistic lifestyle they live, i.e. having all those nice apartments and earning decent cash at their early 20s lol. The fat slob idiot man child with the impossibility hot wife. Hate it. who also happened to be an said wife all the time, but it was seen as a cute thing. Occupying the telephone for hours. You could also add the visual telephone cable jokes. Mostly the sitcom daughter or a woman is involved. So, I'm kinda old, I guess, Gen X, and when I was a kid there was only one phone line in our house, no cell phones, and no social media. My mom and sister tag teamed that phone like it was WWE Raw. I'm not disagreeing with you, it definitely aged poorly, but not for cringy reasons, more for technological and social ones. For me, it's the treatment of medication for mental illnesses, which was frequently and heavily demonized. Nearly every instance of a character trying medication was treated near identically to them taking drugs, completely changing their personality, usually for the worse. Monk is especially guilty. Also, this idea that you can take a pill and it works immediately, whereas often it takes several weeks of regular doses for there to be an effect. It hasn't aged poorly, but the whole killing the neighbor kid's goldfish while they're away on vacation and searching for a look-alike. The fish sitter gets really nervous, but the fish owner gives no F's that it happened. Gay jokes. Constant gay jokes. Every sitcom, sketch comedy show, and late night talk show featured them prominently. If your show had a male character who was even slightly effeminate, a homophobic joke would be made at their expense. I always liked how, for the most part, the gay jokes in Frasier were Crane boys get frustrated by romantic misunderstanding and not actually at the expense of the gay characters. In fact, usually the gay character was the one who walked away from the situation with dignity. I'm sure there were exceptions, but most of the example episodes I remember fell into that pattern. The underage drinking that goes badly. What always puzzled me is when the women got so drunk and the next morning there are Polaroids of her with no top and a lampshade on her head. I've never heard of anyone getting drunk Ireland wearing a lampshade. Where the fuck did this tripe come from? Stalking teenage girls was a regular plot point on any sitcom that featured a teen boy and normally ended with a playful slap or even the guy getting the girl. It should have pretty much always ended in criminal charges, however. In General Hospital, a man straight up raped a woman who he had been stalking. She was married and kept refusing this guy's advances, but the plot was that once she saw how good sex was with him that she would finally leave her husband and marry him. Guess what? She wound up married to the rapist. Having an fully decorated giant apartment that is grossly disproportionate to the income main character would have at their job. Two scientists with doctorates have to share an apartment in Big Bang Theory while a waitress can afford her own. For American television, every single Asian character has a non-American accent and is a stereotype of what a non-Asian American thinks anyone of Asian background is. Doesn't matter if the actor, themselves, has an American accent in real life and whose family has been here for generations. Nope. In front of the cameras, they are an ugly stereotype. Friends had that girl that Raw stated who was from the US with no accent. They even made a joke like "Welcome to America," but she was like "I'm from Jersey" or something like that.